Hello and welcome to the Mattniverse. Today we're going to further explore HiveSwap Friendsim. Now we continue volume 17 with Nihkee. And for my sake, I hope we don't have to work out, because my human body cannot take that. After all the things I've already been through. This is not what I was expecting when the first screen. Okay then. Alrighty then. Let's see what's going on now. Dim lights, the dim of the roaring crowd, and the smell of horribly overpriced and nauseating concessions. Even across galaxies, timelines, and perhaps even universes, there is still something deeply familiar about a sporting arena. Smash your mother honkin' face in! There is also something deeply familiar about sports fans. Oh, I miss ya, hey. Blah, such a shame having seats next to the purples. They can be so crude and boorish. Don't you agree? Chahut wouldn't be nearly this loud. Unusually. You find yourself here attending a wrestling show, or a display of muscular theater, to use the troll terminology, thanks to the benevolence of one Amicia Erdin. I still don't know how to say that. Erdin? Sounds right. She won the tickets in a raffle and excitingly invited you to come along. You agreed, with some reservations that you quickly expressed. She was quite disappointed, but eventually agreed not to kidnap you and keep you locked up as a living paint jar, since you're buddies and all. What a sweet friend. Oop. Yeah, if I could. That was my fault. How do I get back? There we go. You have to admit, though, muscular theater isn't really your thing. It's an over-the-top and ridiculous as human wrestling, which makes it perfectly entertaining enough, but it's also, well, a lot more violent. Participants are expected to die, as far as you can tell, but you've already seen a few get wheeled off on futuristic hover stretchers, with injuries you're not sure they can survive. Oh gosh, she nearly got impaled there. Every match tonight is taking place within a chain-link cage, spikes surmounted on both the outside and inside, and jut out occasionally from the places where the wires cross. The overall design, in addition to ensuring maximum bloodshed, seems to keep both the wrestlers inside and the audience out. Ironically, it might be safer this way. The current combatants are some olive blood named the Huntress and a purple blood calling herself Colpiz. Colpitz, I guess. Interesting name. Interestingly to you, there is nothing clown-like about him at all. Got the makeup. Got a interesting tattoo on that. What even is that? Just looks like a person running with like a torch. It is almost conspicuous how unclowny he is, if only due to the absolutely ridiculous amount of clown content you have imbibed, whatever, in the presence of other purples. The two fighters appear to be nearly evenly matched. The olive troll ducks and weaves amid blindly fast punches from the purple, slashing at him with grandiose arm gestures, trying to overwhelm him with a barrage of small attacks. Every one of his punches hits hard enough to knock her down, but she always springs back up before you can land a second hit. She's incredibly steady on her feet and quicker than he. In fact, you get the distant impression that the olive troll is holding back, presumably so as to not avoid inciting the crowd. Thus far, you have not seen a single match in which the lower-blooded opponent triumphed over a higher-blooded foe. I must admit, this match is a lot more tense than I was expecting, but I hope it ends soon. There's supposed to be a really famous muscular theatress performing next. Her name is Nihkee Moolah, and she hasn't ever lost a fight. I heard she even beat a Violet Blood once. Nihkee Moolah, huh? Now that's a name you could befriend. I don't know about that, we'll see, I suppose. She must be as big as a deal as Amicia makes her out to be, because she uses her real name instead of some ridiculous made-up nonsense, like John Cena or Hulk Hogan. Oh, look, he got her! You flinch. The purple blood finally managed to get his quarry in his clutches, and he lifts her up by the face, digging his fingers into her skull until you hear a sickening crunch, and she collapses to the ground, panting heavily. She can't bring herself back up to her feet, and the announcer calls the match to uproarious applause from the audience. Two trolls enter the cage and start dragging her out, while the winner basks in the audience's affection. The yellow blood looks like she'll probably live, but she's got a dent in her face that probably isn't coming out. Ever. All of a sudden you think you really need to go, get a bathroom. Get a bathroom? You mean use the snack. You mean, you'll be right back. There we go. Oh, okay. Come back soon. This fight is giving me all sorts of ideas for new painting. You quickly make a break for it, jostling your way through the stands and toward the exit of the arena. But before you make it, a voice calls out to you. Some slick-haired and slick-finned violet-blooded guy, wearing a full suit with a tacky flame pattern on it. Hey you, alien! Me, you ask, pointing to yourself nervously. No, the other alien. You swing your head around wildly, looking for the other alien. This bit plays out predictably for a while before you both get on the same page, of course, which is that you are the alien whose attention he wants. You looking to make a little extra buck? No, not really. You never spent a lot of money, you never spent all the money you won with Jaha. Oh, okay. How about fame? Frankly, you're probably already too famous for your own good. Friendship? There you go. Oh, shit, yeah. Sighing with relief, the troll leads you backstage whilst explaining that he is a promoter for this wrestling ring. One of the trolls that was supposed to perform tonight was eaten by some plant called a troll-devouring catch-a-grabber. Interesting name there, but I kind of figured this is how it would play out. Of course I'd be in the arena. Can't wait to see how this works. As such, famed muscular theatress Nihkee Moolah has been left with nobody to fight. You will be that nobody, somebody. An alien will bring in all sorts of media attention and controversy, which of course means big bucks for him, and friendship for you. Nihkee is so friendly, he says, and a tone so insincere even your friendship-addled brain refuses to believe it. It's okay. You've met worse. Oh geez, yep, there she is. He takes you into a back room and seems to be full of performers waiting for their turn on stage. There are all sorts of trolls here, muscular and sweat-soaked, blue-blooded more often than not. One troll in particular stands out to you, from her severe expression to her softly pulsating robotic leg, and the fact that she's the only troll with a fully illustrated sprite. If I can say these words right, that would help. She's currently doing bicep curls with a set of spiked weights, huffing with exertion. When the promoter announces, she looks up with a scowl. Yep, I'm busy. He begins to explain that he has brought a new challenger for her to face, but she cuts him off and stands up. She isn't as tall as you expected, but damn if she isn't dense, packing more brawn than any other troll you've met. Do you want to know what happens, sister, to people who disturb my preparations? Do you want to experience the bone-crushing, torso-shattering impact of these ladies right here? She flexes. God, those muscles are huge. The promoter tells her that she really doesn't need to keep up her act. There's no cameras back here. She gives him a stern look with distantly suggests that she never has dropped kayfabe in her life and has no intention of starting now. Make it quick. The promoter makes it quick. So, let me get this straight. You expect me to perform with this? Ouch, this? I'm at least a something. If I'm not strong, of course, but I'm not a this. I'm definitely not a this thing either. I'm an alien, but I'm not a thing. Come on, give me some respect. At least a little. Just a little bit would be nice. She seems less than impressed, which you find reasonable. Yeah, magnificent legs aside, yes. You don't really look like the wrestling type. Don't you dare insult me, sister. I'd rather you pulled a rusty from the audience that subjected me to this humiliation. Oh, but you are more than just an audience member. Frail though you may be, you have the heart and the soul of a wrestler. You have long, much longer than 5 minutes, you thoroughly assure her, waited for an opening such as this, to reveal your true passion to the world, to come alive on stage and grapple and tumble with the best of them. For eons have you thirsted for the chance to sing the song of sinew, the hymn of heft, the melody of muscle. Would that you could be blessed by the opportunity to live the life of the athlete, to perform alongside your hero, to show the world that you too love to do the muscly thing. That you might just... Okay, I get it. She glances over at the promoter and then back at you. It does seem surprisingly articulate for a lesser being. But is it ready? For a butt-clenching, flesh-abrading, knuckle-blistering, muscle-rippling, okay, this is too much, smackdown from uptown? That's what I'm going. Or yes. I'm gonna go with yes, why not? Of course. You nod your head confidently. Blister my knuckles and abrade my flesh, you say? Let's get this smackdown started. You've got guts, at least. She turns to the promoter and gives him a curt nod. What's curl? This match is on. Then she turns back to you. Now, sister, we need to discuss the show. I will make all the decisions. You will respond adequately to the storyline I present. It will be thus. The alien invader challenges me in an expedition match to topple the Mightyarchy? Okay. They fight valiantly and show an entertaining display of strength. But in the end, as is right and proper, the noble hue of the hemispectrum prevails again. She starts flexing and showing off for you an imaginary audience before turning back to you. Any questions, sister? Yes, actually. You do have a couple of questions. First, will you die? No. Unless you're particularly disgustingly weak, in which case, maybe. Such is the risk we take, we who indulge in the most noble and defined of sports. I was willing to give up my leg for the craft. Is your life such a heavy price to pay for a tale that will transcend us, and will be remembered in the annals of muscular history? Is it, sister? Well, it's rhetorical. I don't know if I did that or they did that, but I didn't get a chance. But at least it says well. Right. Secondly, when she says exhibition match, it is a muscular theater term, referring to a match staged for entertainment that does not affect one's ranking on the what the heck is a flexi ladder? I have no idea. We will not be sporting in the new... Okay, I wasn't going for that. Such glorious displays of raw, chiseled physique are reserved for the intergalactic why can't I say his word? Trolympics, that sounds better. I don't know why I can't say that. Just had to take it for a while. No, yeah, you get that. Mostly you were wondering if it meant the loser's head be I would hope not, exhibited on a pike, or some other bloodthirsty nonsense. Do not degenerate this noble sport with claims of savagery. Thirdly, you're getting the sense that she's going to be playing the heel, yeah? The what? You explain that, in your own culture equivalent of muscular theater, performers generally fall into the category of face or heel, wherein the face is the rule-abiding and sympathetic figure the audience is meant to root for, whereas the heel takes on a more aggressive and unlikable personality. What if part of my personality is unlikable? Do you dare suggest, sister, that the audience won't be roaring in thunderous applause and admiration as I conquer yet another pitiful foe? You tell her, you know what? She can have both the face and the heel, and you'll just be subjected under my heel? Yes, exactly. Yeah, moolah, chatting time's over, you're up. She jerks her head back at you and silently marches out of the room. You begin to follow, and the promoter directs you to your entrance on the other side of the arena. You wait nervously for your cue to enter. Oh boy. Well, folks, we've had some technical difficulties, but here comes the match you've all been waiting for. Wearing the belt of champions and a leg of her own design, she's ready to gut the competition. A paragon of power, a lady of legwork, a true blue ruffian later. Definitely butchered that. In the making. Clap those hands and activate your crevices. It's Nihkee Moolah. Nihkee approaches the cage to thunderous applause, raising her arms and soaking in all the praise. What the heck is all that? You know what? I don't want to know. I'm just gonna skip past that. She flexes and poses at the audience, throws glasses of milk at her. Okay, that's a weird thing. Which shatter uselessly after her steely frame. This appears to be a common ritual for her. Okay. She steps through one of the cage doors and it slams shut behind her, locking tight. With her arms crossed and her teeth firmly gritted, she awaits you. As the announcer begins a new intro speech, you step forward. Can't wait to hear this one. And in the other corner, frail in stature, true, weak in the knees, yes, wearing a perpetual look of befuddlement, I guess, we have some messed up low-blood alien. How has this absurd mockery of life not been culled yet? Perhaps only so fate could lead them to their thrashing at the bloodthirsty hands and barbed foot of the Grand Nihkee. A decent portion of the crowd boos at you, of course, during your approach, which you find unsurprising, of course. You have to dodge a hail of old boots and rotten fruit. Somebody throws an entire piano at you. Okay then, well I guess nobody likes me. I do have some friends here, 33 at least. Come on, somebody's gotta like me. Relatively unfazed, you enter the ring and hear the door close behind you. So, you've come here, alien, to prove you're kind superior to the unbreakable, unstoppable troll species? Yeah, you shout. Your kind is so superior to trolls. And you, their emissary, does this creature look superior to you, my theater enthusiast? She turns to the audience, throwing out a hand and gesture to you. They boo, of course. Is this sorry specimen the best its planet can offer? More boos. You counter that you came more than prepared to tackle the mightyarchy? Yeah, that. So, you claim to be prepared. But are you prepared to face these 24-inch slither noodles? I don't know if I would call them slither noodles. She flexes so hard the announcer's sleeves explode. What? So be it. I'll crush you in a single blow. You're expecting a referee to start the match, but then it occurs to you that there is no referee. Somewhere in the distance, a blowhorn sounds, which is apparently the signal to begin. Without taking your eyes off you, Nihkee grabs the cage wall behind her and hoists herself up effortlessly, scaling in a reverse until she reaches the top. The announcer is screaming something about this move being called the Spiky Nihkee. Once she finishes her ascension, Nihkee deftly leaps toward the edge of the cave and spins down towards you. Her body twists and writhes in multiple blindingly fast flips before her robotic blade comes slashing at you. You spend some time admiring her dazzling form before it occurs to you that you should probably move. You duck and roll forwards, feeling the point of her leg just barely graze your scalp. The announcer shouts, "First blood," as you feel a little trickle down the back of your neck. Some members of the crowd are booing, presumably because they just noticed the color of your blood. Between the neon lighting and distance, they probably just think it's rust-colored and not a mutant red. So at least you have that going for you. What you don't have going for you is time to think about your next move, because Nihkee pivots on her heel and charges at you. This time, she's going for a more theatric throw. Two powerful hands grab you and lift you over her shoulder, where you nearly gore yourself on one of her horns in your struggle to escape. You plant two hands on her back and push hard, and you are delighted to find that her grip loosens, and you go tumbling over her back, landing, with a clumsy stagger, on your feet. You're not sure if she let you get away with that one for the sake of the show, or if you just slipped out of her sweat-soaked palms. Either one. It works, as long as I'm not dead. But you're going to, charitably assume the former. She turns to face you, grunting and baring her fangs. She charges, rearing back a fist and then sending it barreling toward your fragile human nose. You leap out of the way, only narrowly dodging it. All you've done is avoid me, coward. Where's your killer instinct? Do I scare you? Kinda, yeah. Are you loath to face my true blue, muscle-bound beauty? You take this as your cue to attack, and instead, you run full tilt away from her. It isn't fear carrying you, you swear. Fool! There was no running or hiding from Nihkee Moolah. Stand and fight! She sprints towards you as you flee. The crowd is on tether hooks. Tenterhooks? Okay. Nobody knows what you're doing, least of all you, but you think you can pull something cool out of this. You leap at the cage wall, barely dodging the spikes that line it, and use the slight amount of give in the chain link wires to springboard you off. With an exuberant grin, you go flying toward her, arm held out for a classic clothesline maneuver, and then you collide with her own arm and whomp. Where did I go? When you wake up, you were lying on what appears to be an exercise mat. You can feel a telltale throbbing sensation in your face that indicates a black eye. Oh great, I got punched. Nice. The rest of you, thankfully, doesn't feel particularly hurt. Nearby, you can hear the huff and puff of exertion. You glance over and spot Nihkee training on one of those leg press machines you always saw in gyms, but never had the courage to attempt to use. She's wearing an exercise outfit which, despite its vastly different purpose, looks almost exactly like the outfit she wore in the ring. It has all the functions a fitness aficionado would want. It's loose, it's breathable, and the artists don't have to draw a second set of sprites for it. As soon as she notices you awake, she turns to speak to you. She doesn't even stop her workout. You're finally awake, sister. Welcome to my hive. Oh, it's her hive. Okay, why is there spikes in the ground though? That seems like a very dangerous workout. I'm not gonna ask what that's all about. I have spent so much time, so much precious, valuable time, waiting for you to open your eyes. Oh god, how long have you been out? About 40 minutes. Whew, that's not so bad, is it? Perhaps, but only when compared to your abysmal performance in the ring, to be knocked out cold by your own attack. Oh great, I did that to myself. Perfect. Wretched. I am an impossible foe to counter, and yet even a Rusty has towed me longer in the realm of Mortal Kombat. You are weak, sister. Offensively so. She slams her foot forward with such velocity, the weight on the leg press goes flying off and leaves a dent in the floor. Grunting, she stands, takes a long swig from a bottle, and then approaches you with fire in her eyes. What do you have to say for yourself? You scuttle backwards, offering only a sheepish smile. You're, sorry, you guess? I didn't bring you here for apologies. I brought you here to see your heart ignite with the will to improve. You are not a worthless being. You have a flair for theatrics, an appreciation of the sport, and a shining soul, filled only the most intangible determination. Pretty sure I said that wrong, but we're gonna go ahead and skip that. You could be so much more than you are, sister. I could make you so much more. Cast your gaze around you, and behold, the Brainizium? Oh, what am I saying, brain? That's not what we're doing here. We're not doing brain things. The Braunizium. That sounds better. You immediately cast your set gaze around. This room is massive and littered with training equipment as far as the eye you can see. Much of it resembles exercise machines like the ones you had in gyms back on Earth, but there is plenty more that looks far more alien and deadly. The treadmill, which appears to throw the runner into a vat of acid if they fall off, okay. A series of swinging axes that could look at home in the dungeon, 3 different varieties of Iron Maiden, each more horrific than the last. This is presumably Nihkee's personal workout studio, but you could easily mistake it for a torture chamber. You wonder if Ardata has ever considered a job as a personal trainer. Maybe you should bring it up with her. There are some who may be worthy of my expertise. It is here that I can forge them, just as I forged myself, into beings of adamantium strength. The journey will be harsh. If you are made of weaker stuff than I believe, you will perish in agony. But if your core is strong, and your will of iron, yours will be an unquenchable might. She extends a hand to you, her jaw set. Join me, sister, and together we shall ascend to Tumcent heights. What the heck is that? Of muscular perfection. There is a look in her eyes that you have never seen before, one of hope, of faith. Her arm vibrates, muscles quaking. Do you take it? Take her hand, or hesitate? Yeah, we're gonna work out. This is what I feared at the beginning. Oh, I am such a weak little human. There's no way I can deal with this, but I'm gonna take her hand just to see what happens. You take her hand, staring into those hopeful eyes. Oh, to see that deep sapphire blue fill with the glow of friendship. She squeezes your hand so tightly you feel your fingers fracturing. Excellent. I knew you had the spark. Now, to make a flame, to grind, and crush, and pummel the flint, until it bursts into the roaring blaze of strength. Today, I shall begin by testing your limits. Come. She leads you to the treadmill and that deep, bubbling pit of acid directly behind you. You nervously step on. We're going to measure your speed and stamina. Run until you can run no longer. She starts up the machine. She gives you a nice, breezing jogging pace at first, but the treads quickly begin to wire away at a blindingly fast rate. You're sprinting as hard as you can to keep up, holding desperately onto the arms of the treadmill. Come on, sister. Grit your teeth. Put some thrust sinew into it. If you're not evacuating your acid track by the time you're done, you aren't trying hard enough. Sweat beads on your forehead as you push your legs to the limit, running like you've been chased by an angry drone. Your feet must be blurring like Sonic the fucking Hedgehog by now. The treads are moving even faster, and you can almost feel yourself slipping. Got to hold. You lose your grip and go flying backwards, nearly grasping onto the edge of the pit and dangling into it. Yeah, I didn't finish that. Your toes singing by the acid. Youch! You hoist yourself up over the edge and roll to the side, hissing. Nihkee stands over you, clunking your tongue. Top speed, 12 miles per hour. That's good, right? For a bronze blood. Next test. She takes you from machine to machine in quick succession, each time commenting on your skill level. Your biceps are as terrible as Rusty's. Your lungs are gold at best. Your legs are unexpected cerulean, all the while taunting you, encouraging you to push yourself further. The desiccated corpse of my ancestor could do better than this. You struggle to deadlift a giant barbell made of dead monster skulls. Are you going to eject dismay fluid all night long, or are you going to woman up? You go toe-to-toe with a punching bag that snouts sonic blasts at you whenever you hit it. Shape up or get ejected onto the nearest solar execution barge. You sob as she forces you to do 30 minutes of free-form jazzercise. Your jazz hands are terrible. Oh, just jazz hands. By the time an hour is up, you are panting and huffing, desperate for a break. Nihkee finally relents. Your reward for staying alive thus far. Stay hydrated, sister. She tosses you one of those protein shaker bottles that gym buffs are always chugging from. You regard that mixture within curiously for a moment, before throwing caution to the wind and gulping some down. What was imbibing alien substances ever hurt you before? But when the flavor hits your taste buds, you almost retch. Is this Gatorade mixed with milk? Nutritious and delicious. You keep chugging it and need the liquids, foul they may be. Alright, lactose break over. Let's continue. Oh, Jesus. She next leads you over to one of those Iron Maidens. This one doesn't actually look spiked. It just looks like it is just blunt, bumpy surface on the inside. Get in. What? Get in, sister. Oh God. You reluctantly step inside the Iron Maiden and the doors clamp shut around you. This thing is far, far too tight for you, and the bumps are pressing into you from all sides, threatening to squeeze you away into nothing. You groan and push against the walls, desperately trying to keep them from crushing you into a little human waffle. Just when you think your strength is about to give out, the maiden opens. Pressure resistance? About olive level. These results are, surprisingly, adequate. Your potential continues to shine. Good work. This halfway point seems to mark a change in her attitude, as you continue to, just barely, persevere through everything she throws at you, like a shade wake so powerful it leaves you shuddering intermediately through the next few exercises. Keep steady, sister. Don't lose heart on me now. A rowing machine that douses you with boiling water if you can't keep up at the pace. Go, go, go! We'll make a fuchsia medalist out of you yet. Literally being chased around a field outside by a giant toothy monster. Don't you dare allow this thing to satisfaction of feasting on your bones. After hours of this grueling work, you finally collapse. You think some of your bones are broken. Your heartbeat is coming in quick and irregular pulses, and you can hardly breathe. Your vision blurs and shifts at the edges. God, you're amazed you haven't passed out yet. Get up. You glance weakly at Nihkee, expecting her to be looking down at you with disdain, but instead you see her crouching down offering you her hand, wearing a smile. You take her hand and she pulls you up to your feet. Wow, at least she looks very happy. That's good. That's good. The look on her face now resembles pride, and when she clamps a palm down on your shoulder, it only kind of hurts. You've done well, sister. I threw everything I had at you, and you soldiers on with head held high, even as your body broke beneath the weight. I have never seen such commitment, such strength of heart and soul, such dedication to the craft, such appreciation for the most righteous of pursuits. You are no mere workout partner, you are a workout friend. A light blossoms inside you like the neighing of a horse. Okay, that's a weird way of putting it. This feeling of power, of strength, of the true bond between warriors. This is real and true, and this light will never, ever leave you. As you bask here in the satisfied and sweaty glow of a good workout, you realize that plants, universes, dimensions, realities, powers, principalities, and cosmos come and go. But being swole as fuck is forever. Okay. Aww. She give you her belt? That's so nice. That's cute. I like that. But, it's a good thing we did the workouts, even though I was fearing for it in the beginning. Ay. That was fun, though. That was very good. I can't believe I survived throughout that whole thing. I don't know if I'd really be able to do it. That's a lot of stuff to go through. When you're almost dying most of the time, I don't know. So, we're gonna go with, Actually, this is starting to sound a little much for you. You aren't sure you can quite match her, enthusiasm for the craft. Who do you think you are, sister? You, who has the globes to step on me. You come into my dressing room with those flimsy, stringy, insultingly puny arms of yours. Look at me in my eyes and challenge me to a match. Beg for the chance to spar with me. And then clunk out like a pathetic alien whelp you are. Get out of my sight. Head bowed low, you retreat to the safety, comfort, and friendless expanse that is the audience. You can't even bear to look at Nihkee when she goes out and performs. You're so saddened by the loss of a potential chum. Well, that and it's kind of a grisly watching her pull low blood challengers from the audience and smash their faces into the spot. Ooh. Okay then. Yeah, it's probably a good thing. Yeah, I'm just sitting over there crying. That's a good thing I dodged that, but still the fact that I blew myself out with my own attack was kind of pathetic. I don't know what I was doing. Apparently I was trying a clothesline attack. I don't know. I guess I ran into her fist, I guess is probably what I did. That's how I knocked my own self out. Okay, one more. So go through all that, and now we're going to hesitate. You begin to offer your hand, but under her steely gaze, your resolve wavers. This all seems like a lot. Too much, even. You don't know if you're made of stuff tough enough for the training she seems to be offering. You would like to prove yourself, to become strong. You really would. But does she perhaps, just maybe, have any courses a little easier on soft and squishy creatures like yourself? The expression on her face grows terrifyingly blank. She's not scowling or snarling or sickened or any other S word. She's just looking at you with the vaguest hint of disappointment dripping from her otherwise neutral expression. I see. You're like all the rest, aren't you? Unworthy to receive my gifts. Unwilling to reach your full potential. A pathetic simpering thing, playing at dreams of muscular greatness it can never achieve, because it doesn't have the will for it. You're an insult to my art. You spit on my passion, oh god. Get the fuck out of my face, and do not ever dare to return. Shrinking under her steely gaze, you quickly flee her hive. Is this it for you? Is the screen going to fade to black, replacing by a goofy cartoonish end card? Yes, it will. And some somber game over music composed by artistic genius James Roach? That it will. No, you refuse. You are not yet ready to call this friendship kaput. You show her and her draconian methods up, damn it. It's time to get ripped. You're going to get down on, do it your own way, and then return. And she will be so utterly impressed by your muscular growth that she will have no choice but to admit that you are friend material. Sadly, you do not know any other blue bloods characterized by an absurd love of muscles and bodybuilding. They're basically all total nerds, actually, but you can perhaps think of someone from a nearby hue who can help out. That's an interesting person to go to. That's not who I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like a clown. I mean, they're pretty bulky-ish. Alright. Her door swings open with gusto when you are greeted by a familiar smiling face. Oh, what an unexpected surprise. You really should have called. Or text. Or did literally anything else to alert me to the fact that you wanted to visit me on such short notice when my schedule is so terribly packed. But that's alright. I can squeeze in a meeting, I'm sure. Do come in. Do come in. Oh, and she's here too. Alright. You step past the threshold of the door and into her office/living room. Tizius is sprawled out across the couch, lazily holding a book up at her face. Looks like she's studying, which is a relief to you, because you could have felt terrible if you had interrupted some intimate time between them. Unless studying is intimate for them, you kind of hope studying isn't intimate for anyone. The prospect terrifies. Would you like to join me and Zizi for some grub loaf? It's not imposition, I promise. You absolutely would. You didn't know Stelsa was a cook on top of everything else she does. Oh no, I could never. There simply isn't enough time. I'm just ordering from Door Smash. That's excellent stuff, really. It is Zizi has some very colorful words for the taste. It's pretty bitch. Thanks, Tizius. It's pretty bitchin'. Yes, it is certainly. That, yeah. Pencil our good friend here in for a dinner date, can you, darling? They're literally right here already. We don't need to do that. Stelsa pauses and blinks, as if processing a foreign concept. Right. Sometimes Stels forgets that you don't have to put everything on a schedule. Which is fair. School feeding changes the troll. Stelsa pulls up a chair and gestures for you to sit down in front of her desk. All that said, while we wait for the meal to arrive, let's get down to brass tacks. What brings you to my lovely abode tonight? Maybe they just want to see you. People don't always need a reason beyond that. You actually do have a reason, though. Shit. Shit. Tizius does not seem happy that I'm here. Alright. You explain to Stelsa that you have a friend, more accurately, a friend-to-be, or perhaps acquaintance, or perhaps a person of adequate quality, who would like to impress through the pursuit of personal fitness. You recall to Stelsa that was jogging when you met her, so maybe she could help you put together a fitness routine, and you could do some workouts together. Her expression lights up and she clasps her hands together. Oh goodness, I would absolutely love that! My poor Zizi is usually far too tired and far too busy. Sometimes I don't know how I manage it myself. So I'd absolutely love a partner to keep trains, Zizat running on time. Zizat? I don't know. Assuming, of course, you won't be late yourself and you keep up with my pace. Fair warning, it's blistering. Isn't it though? Thanks, sweetums. Thanks. You confidently assert that, if nothing else, you can keep pace with her. Your legs have seen a lot of use. Walking, running, fleeing, prostrating yourself before clowns. You know, the usual. Excellent. We'll set up some meetings, then I'll add you to my schedule. My people will call you your people, etc., etc. Thanks for visiting. It's been ever so lovely to see you. Toodaloo. She's halfway through shoving you out the door when you remind her that she invited you for a grub loaf. She hastily and apologetically pulls you back inside. Tizius snickers in the background. Thank you, Tizius. Don't know what I'd do if I didn't have Stells. Someone has to be the energetic one in this quadrant. The contrast is certainly a stark one, as Dizzy has considered quaffing energy drinks here and there. Perhaps they could help keep her pep up. 1, I'd probably literally die. 2, you don't want to see me on energy drinks. Nobody does. Fair. You spend a while longer chatting with Tizias before the delivery arrives and the three of you have dinner together. The grub loaf is exactly as bitchin' as advertised. That's good to hear. A wonderful meal with wonderful friends. The perfect persecutor to the fitness montage yet to come. You visit Stelsa multiple days a week, fitting yourself into your incredibly convoluted and packed schedule. The feat doesn't actually prove very hard. You basically only exist to spend time with friends. Her equipment is delightfully free of torture devices. Besides her step machine, she also owns quite a bit of smaller exercise paraphernalia. Acrobatic doodads and thingamajigs, yoga mats, jogging outfits. Each one of those huge bouncy exercise balls, which she bans you from using after you accidentally send it careening into a carefully organized stack of books. Probably a good idea there. Stelsa carries herself forward with a peppy, always-on sense of gusto that can be difficult to keep up with, but her bright smile and encouraging attitude do wonders to keep you invested, to convince you that you really can acquire the swolehood you've dreamed of. By the end of the perigee, you are, well, you won't exactly call yourself ripped, but your muscles are definitely toned in a way they previously were not. You feel hale and hearty, more energetic than ever, with a bit of an extra pep in your step. Apparently, regular exercise makes you feel good. Wild. As you look at yourself in the reflection of the acid puddle, you flex, not feel, and watch your muscles bulge. Fuck yeah, it's time. At least, you hope it's time. You climb into your scuttle buggy and prepare to set the autopilot to Nihkee's place, but something stills your hand. Some strange sensation that has been slowly, surely settled into your stomach. A sense of unease, of dread. Your days of foolish and ignorance are long past, and in their place is burgeoning understanding of the universe in which you exist, and the harsh laws by which it rules its inhabitants. You are beginning to fear, made the wrong choice, with all the consequences such as lapse in judgment entails. Will you ever truly befriend Nihkee? Or are you cursed to live, for who knows how long, in a world without her sweet smile to cure your insatiable addiction? Maybe you need not wonder. Maybe the time has come to look inside yourself, and know. You are going to give your chakras one real motherfucker of a blitzing. It's going to take good mood music of the highest caliber. Having picked up some meditative tips from Boldier, you navigate your Scuttlebuggy's radio dial to Aromatic Buzz, station which is currently playing some soothing ocean sounds. The gentle lap of water meeting the shore, the rhythmic beat of the tide, as steady and as sweet as a mother's heartbeat. What's going on? It's interspersed with distant honks and weird animal chittering, of course, because this is still fucking Alternia. You lean back into your seat, reclining it so far as it can go, and sink into the cushiony softness. Something sharp is poking at your rib, but you try to ignore it. You close your eyes and allow the white noises to flood your senses, blocking everything else out. Oh yeah, you really are vibing this shit right now. Chakra status, blitz to high hell. You imagine casualty as a river, or causality as a river. Every choice a branch. Why am I doing this again? I know I made the wrong choice. Why am I doing this again? I mean, I guess it has to happen. Tributaries upon tributaries, winded ever downward, pooled in lakes of inevitability. The pit in your own stomach gnaws. It all ends here, stagnant, bitter water, reeking of death. The ocean ever out of reach, your soul ever yearning for a single solitary estuary among all the ceaseless spillways. You take a deep breath. Water lapses at your side and tickles your ears. You are adrift. You feel the gentle bob as you float down the river. Hear the rush like a ticking clock. Gravity as time pulling you ever forward. Which river is this? To what end does it deliver you? Your breathing slows, then shudders. You feel the rapids approach, the rivers blur, then shift your heart rewinds, misses a beat, a surge of emotion, water streaking down the curve of your cheek, your lungs ache. Which lungs? Which river? Which you? You try to focus, but the water beats at your brows, lashing your arms and legs. Too tired to swim, you try for another deep breath, but nothing comes. With a tumultuous gasp, close enough, you sink beneath the surface, to the churning darkness below. Here, amidst the battering onslaught, the images come, whirls of emotion, of sound, of thought, memories best forgotten or never known, lakes meant to remain uncharted. The crack of thunder, rain and tearfall, a single drop of olive, the record skips. Peace through rage, the whirl of the carousel, horses whinny as you Calliope sings. The circle takes you. Searching eyes implore you, the puppet strings stretch toward the moon. The flash of the blade, the spray of blood, her strings are cut. The crackle of energy, the world gone grayscale, eyes deeper than the deepest pit, a shuddering final breath. You are lost, lungs burning, water clogging every inch. You furrow your brow, think, find your river. Coughing, wheezing, a final rattling gasp. Panic seizes you, resounding crack, the stamp of fumes, the ricochet of gunfire, the death of one, of thousands. A low, sinister honk, footfalls loud and deep, the swing of a club, blood on the pavement. Dark, acrid smoke, and distant voices in crackling intercom. A lurch beneath you, feet thrown out, neon energy crackling green. Choking, desperate, lungs aflame, you focus your will. Where are you? Which are you? Find your river. Piercing eyes, a stern, uncompromising gaze. The singe of acid, crushing spikes, the body worn to nothing, all for her approval. The puff of exertion, gray muscles flex and spirits lighten. A gulp of water, the shine of a smile. Whoa. A looping tape, mirrors and mirrors, the mind, like time, infinite. The tributary splits and you, finally, drift down your chosen route. Freshwater visions as you float toward the surface. A carefree decision, scuttling legs in the thrum of an engine, cityscapes passing by. Stern anger, a fist tightly clenched, shaking, barely restrained, hope crushed under rigid foot. A plan, poorly conceived. Desperation, madness, friendship at all costs. Navy blood pooling on the... Oh my god, what happened? A navy blood pooling on the concrete, troll and plan, both collapsing, cold hatred in her eyes. Tense footfalls on the pavement, muscles strained of exhaustion, the sun rising over a desperate chase. Escape, sweet bliss soon to shatter, blood and bone turned to steel. Fruitless assistance, your clothing, your soul, stained with blood, no more, no more. One more step, one more desperate step, one foot after another in the endless chase. Drenched in fear, in sweat, not sweet. Drenched in fear, in sweat, hidden but not well enough. The curtain falls, one final heartbeat at the end of all things. You emerge from beneath the surface with a gasp, coughing up water and, it's just you, sitting in your scuttle buggy, gentle white noise still playing on the radio. You take a moment to catch your breath, your heart thumped against your ribcage like it wants to crawl out and beat you senseless for subjecting it to all that horse shit. Whew, okay, enough medication for one day. You think you're just going to reach over and kinda set the autopilot to Stelz's house instead of Nikkee's. Yeah. You have no idea if this will avert or merely delay some horrifying or grisly end or another, but it's better than the alternative. And besides, you really want some more of that bitchin' grub loaf. Oh boy. Alright. Well, that was interesting. Going back to paths that kind of, a lot of volumes ago. Man. A lot has happened since you crash landed on Alternia. You met a lot of friends, went down a lot of different paths. Although the different paths don't really mean much since they just kind of tell you to reset and get the, the true friend path. They all still happen. It's just I don't think you really remember it all. But anyways, as long as, that's done, we did what we needed to. We got the friend. In a very painful way of having to do exercises just to get it, but you at least showed your will. Your will to get better, I suppose. But as far as I know, there's only at least one more, or maybe two, but probably one more volume left. They said that I think this was the second to last, so it's coming to a close real soon. There will be no more HiveSwap Friendsim. Maybe HiveSwap Act 2 will come out. We'll see what happens with that. Kind of been waiting for that, hoping it comes real soon. We'll see, I suppose. But anyways, I'll see you guys for the next volume whenever that comes out. So thank you for joining me for this adventure. I'll see you guys for the next adventure. Bye.